All right, all right, all right. We are live with episode 4 of the Dog Pound Presents Off the Chain. And today, we taking it light today. It's a holiday weekend in the US, Labor Day weekend. So we got our good drinks in our hand. So we got people, we got real dogs in the house today, along with all of the other dogs. You know what I'm saying? The dog is we controlled though. We controlled though. But let me introduce our guest. I am the host today, Blockchain Dame. I'm here along with Dog Pound members Clay and Satoshi Wolf. And today we have a special guest. Many of you may know him. We have Bitlord in the house. Let's go.
What's up,
let's
guys?
go.
How we
Let's
doing?
go. Yeah, he's actually our first guest that's actually utilizing the webcam. So for all you anonymous motherfuckers out there that's scared, look, he ain't scared, man. We out here. I like it. So let's go. So we got a few topics today that we're gonna discuss. We're gonna talk about a little some ICOs, centralized exchanges type stuff. We're gonna talk about some altcoin talk. We got some BTC overall market outlook. But first, let's introduce our guest, Bitlord. So what's been going on, man? Welcome to the Dog Pound Presents Off the Chain episode 4. How you feeling today, man?
Yeah, I'm pretty good, mate. I just woke up. I've had like less than 3 hours sleep, so I'm getting charged up with a coffee right now. I'm just like looking at the markets as we're going through this, and I'm excited to kick off into this podcast, mate. I love doing these things. I've just started doing them, and I think they're like one of the most fun things you can do in crypto is get on a podcast with a bunch of cool guys and just talk crypto.
Yeah, man. I think it's actually all of the new podcasts. I've actually seen a surge of new podcasts going on, which is good in the space. I don't think anybody should think that this market is oversaturated right now, because I believe and many others believe that it's just the beginning. So it's always good to connect with your peers that you see online on Twitter every day, and have some real conversation, because everybody is fucking digital internet these days. Nobody really knows how to talk. None of our personalities really show until we get a chance to come on shows like this, or until we meet face to face at some of these conventions going on. By the way, I will use this chance to tag World Crypto Con that's coming up in Vegas, Halloween weekend. It's gonna be a lot of us in town getting rowdy for that. So yeah, events like that where we'll get to meet each other, these are good things. So what's been going on with you and the blockchain space and the crypto space lately, besides just trading? What projects have you been involved in?
All right, so I've taken a bit of a step back from trading sort of last year, and I've been trying to work more on this. I had this idea where I wanted a place where traders can get together, like similar to like poker tournaments, where you buy into a pot and you compete up against one another for top prizes. And I had this idea, I had no idea how to start it. And then, I just sort of tweeted out there looking for some developers, and then things sort of kicked off from there. So that's how GTrader Pro came about. And I'm working on that now. We're getting everything looking really good. We're going through like beta stage of it now. So, guys are trading and competing against each other right now. And, it's growing. It's getting good. We're having a lot of fun doing it. And, this is something that, if I was out there, actively trading or looking to just do stuff and be active in crypto, this is something that would have been, right up my alley. So I hope, a lot of guys, see that and get involved and have some fun on it. That's taking up all my focus.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. And then that's sort of a not norm project that we would see in this space with the whole trade and the competition platform thing. So how does all of that actually work? If we want to get just like a quick overview of it, do you get certain prizes or certain allocations of funds that you can win from trading against each other? Do I have that concept right?
Yeah, so what it is, we have what's called your registration fee, and then your account funding. So like, let's say the registration's at like, I think at the moment it's for this beta test, it's at $7. So guys come in, they're registered for $7, and then they fund their account with about $70 in BTC, which is 0.01. And then, we're trading on BitMEX, but we're housing all the data and presenting it on our website. And, we've integrated Twitch, Twitch is coming. Discord is being integrated, where doing a few other things in there to make it this sort of social environment. And when guys are trading, they're able to see themselves up on this leaderboard. It changes like every 5 seconds. So you're able to see how these other guys are doing, and basically you're trying to put yourself on the top 3. The top 1 takes out 60% of the registration funds. Number 2 takes 30% of the registration funds, and number 3 takes 10% of the registration funds. So you really want to, get yourself into, the top 3 there to sort of make bank on this. And right now it's looking really good. I mean, I'm looking at guys. This kicked off like yesterday, and this is pretty cool. I mean, there's someone up. The guy that's leading it right now, his name's Kicker BTC. I didn't even see this motherfucker last night. He's enjoying it. Yeah, it's coming out of nowhere.
And I think that's a good thing for all of these dudes that like to, get on crypto Twitter and brag about how they're often right all the time or how much they're actually making. Well, this is a fact check right here. If you talking about it and if you really doing it, well, it's gonna show up on the leaderboards and you get some incentives for doing it. So why not back it up and use the platform, man? I like it.
Yeah, definitely, man. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, there's so many different styles of trading through crypto that, I feel like a lot of the old school guys are more sort of investors and traders. And, I wouldn't expect them to do well in this. I'd actually expect them to get their ass kicked because it's not their style. But I know there's this new generation of these BitMEX traders that they're just such tossers. I mean, they're always on about, how good they're doing and they're murdering this and that. But then you can see what they post. They're always hiding something. They're always hiding like something going on there, and it's always not really clear about when they bought and when they sold. And now it's like, all right, guys, time to get on here. Time to show us where you stack up.
Yeah, most def. So I like to call it, like we say down here, and that is what you just created, a platform that give people an opportunity to actually let their nuts hang. That's what we say, partner language. If you think that you this, that, and the other, and you big and bad, well, hey, let it show. So appreciate that. Appreciate that quick rundown on what you've got going. Thanks for being on the show again today. So let's get into some topics, man. Let's get it rolling. So first topic. We all know that this year, since the beginning of this year, let's take it back to last year, 2017, we had a massive run up of ICOs, right? Ridiculous gains by some ICOs. We had some ICOs that went over 50 times, some that we even went 100 times, like Icon and some of the other ones. And some left a bad taste in people's mouths too, right? With the jankiness that's going on, right? So we all know that we got into this year and many people expected that rally to continue, but in the end, it came to something that my man Ian Bellina, he said is ICO winner, right? That you have to be very selective. You got to be very strict on on these startup companies that you're actually giving your money to, because there's some loopholes, there's a lot of stuff with regulations and all of that stuff. But what I'm getting to is it seems like people's eyes are opening again, and people are itching to start throwing their monies not only back into some of these ICOs, but also just back into the market in general, right? Since it seems like we have a little bit of some positive movement. We're not out of the woods yet, but it's on the way. But I just wanted to talk about a long-awaited ICO, the Neon Exchange, right? I know this has been people's top ICO priority. I mean, top of the ICO list for much of this year, ever since it was announced. And they had a lottery earlier this year, and I heard it was very hard to get into, to actually get a spot in the ICO. But they're actually, this Monday, they're going to start the ICO. And it was a big, shock tweet that went out a couple of days ago, and everybody's excited. So what I wanted to ask you guys is, first, what is your stance on ICOs? Because we had a small talk before, and some people, some of us here in this chat, we some invest in them strong, some don't. I know we have some reasons behind that. And then I just want to talk about decentralized exchanges in general, and what do you guys think about some of these new exchanges that's popping up that does revenue sharing, like Bitfinion with Alco, and Cost does some with revenue sharing and all of this stuff. So first about Neon Exchange, we all know that that they've introduced a lot of the Neon blockchain has been welcoming new coins and new projects on there that have been using their blockchain technology. What is it, NEP5 or whatever it's called? And so that exchange is going to be geared towards most of those. But how do you guys feel about, you know, exchanges where you can stake a certain coin and earn returns? Of course, they would be listed as a security, right? And how do you feel about exchanges to where it's feeless based on certain pairs that you use? Do you see a real incentive of possibly using those exchanges besides the top exchanges like Binance and KuCoin and all that stuff, even though they do have their own coin like BNB and KCS? I'm just wondering, like, what would drive you guys to want to even explore some of these new decentralized exchanges that's coming out and those unique exchanges?
Liquidity, that's it. You know, liquidity. You need some trade volume. You need some action there, because liquidity attracts liquidity. And if these places don't have liquidity, you got to ask, okay, so what else is going to get me there? What is unique about them? They're going to want to have they might not have a slick UI or an awesome design, but they might be doing the right thing in regards to, you know, listing hot new upcoming coins. I mean, that's how, you know, exchanges kick off really quickly. They list good coins, good projects, and we've seen a lot of you know, exchanges or things pop up that they don't list coins, or they just add a whole bunch of shit ones. So if you get the right mix of, you know, adding good coins, I think you get the people.
Yeah. Did anybody else want to add in on that? I personally think, I mean, I was looking over some of the specifics of what we all know, that Neo is a popular altcoin, and we all know that it's a popular blockchain technology that people have big expectations for. Many rumors with China and everybody using it as their official blockchain for whatever they got going. So I have a feeling that certain exchanges would get a big use, or would entice people to use it, so far as like Neo, since everybody seems like it's of course a top 25, if not a top 10, if I'm not mistaken. So I think people will get some use for that. But so far as like coins like Alco, so Alco has their new exchange that they're working on called Bitfinion, and it seems like a pretty cool exchange. And I know a lot of people that actually own Alco masternodes, and it's called, and they're naming it the first masternode powered financial exchange. So basically, some of the features that they'll let you do is you'll get to stake your Alco coins, and then you'll get to do free trading on some of the Alco pairs, and you'll get to buy Alco for free with no fees on their exchange. So I'm just trying to figure out. And, you know, the pairs that they have are pairs that are on, I mean, the coins that they're listing are coins that are on every other popular exchange. So I'm just trying to figure out what's gonna bring people to these exchanges and how successful. Because I think I read an article the other day that it says once the exchange launched, that it had a predicted Alco value based on a bunch of statistics that they gathered, that it would be worth anywhere between like $5 and $7 in the near future. And I'm just, first of all, I don't know how they calculated that, so don't do that. But I think what?
Yeah, I don't know. I've seen a lot of this stuff where you know, they come along and, you know, they make up these calculations based on, here's a good example. If you know, Bitcoin was to take over 10% of the world's monetary supply, shit like that. I mean, start getting crazy. But, you know, we see alts and alt teams do it with, you know, far more outlandish things. And, you know, you always got to look at how they're calculating these, and if it's achievable or even feasible, because, you know, at the end of the day, these guys are trying to increase the value of their token. You know, they've obviously all bought it. They're all holding it. They're going to say and do anything and sort of bend those rules in what's happening at time, guys. So, you know, that's how I look at things like this. But I don't know too much about the project, but it does sound interesting.
Yeah. So Bitlord, we talked a little bit about the show about. Let's go back a little bit to the ICO part. We talked a little bit before the show about ICOs, and you mentioned how you don't really do the ICO thing, and what's your reasoning behind that? I know you have a good reasoning, and I'm not saying you're wrong or right by not doing it, but I'm just curious to see what's your thoughts on investing in ICOs.
I really enjoyed the ICO craze like last year. It was a great time. You throw money at any sort of shit, and, you know, you would make money. It was a good time.
Easily,
really
right?
Yeah, but the thing is, you know, these things come to an end, and it's just like, many of the altcoins, from the past that were sitting right up on CoinMarketCap. They're not there today. They don't even exist. So what it is, I mean, I feel like it was a time where we had an absolute boom, and people got in really quickly, took advantage of a lot of the I call it like regulatory arbitrage, and now these guys are cracking down. They're making big changes, so it's you can't go ahead and take the piss anymore. And I feel like that's good, because a lot of these ICOs have been irresponsible with investors' money. So they've gone ahead and they haven't cashed out the crypto, that it's lost a lot of value. Then they've basically halved project, more than halved project funding. These guys are going around all around the world, blowing money on all sorts of 5-star hotels, private jets, drugs, alcohol, partying, hosting sort of shit. And it's like, hey, if you're an investor in a company, or you own that company, and you saw that was the spending, you would not be happy. You can't do that sort of shit. So I feel like, look, I'm a fan of startups. I love startups, but I want to see a dedicated team that are doing the right thing, for the people that have, invested in them, not this, ICO bonanza where nobody gives a fuck. And I feel like we're getting to that now, where people are being responsible and they actually have to, be transparent with what's going on. And, it's like a move to securities now. So I'm not so interested in ICOs. I'm interested in startups and anything that's IPOing, because, that's going to give you the rights as an investor, and you're going to get the transparency that you need.
Yeah, that's why I've stayed away from ICOs, because they just all seem so scammy. Like I started mid last year, and when the ICO craze happened, I knew fuck all about these coins and what were they doing with their money. Like, who fucking knows?
Yeah. And some were asking for like an absurd amount of money for like. There's no reason why certain projects need 60, 50 mil to start up. Like that's way more than some of the huge companies that are, the NASDAQ and Dow companies that need.
And for a team of 3 people and shit like that, it's like, oh yeah, exactly. Fair enough. Yeah, 50 mil, fucking great.
That's the thing, right?
Come on, guys. Do you know how much cocaine you can go through in a year?
They running through it. I mean, if they get 50 mil, that's on some Pablo shit over there. What they
Have you ever been to an ICO party? I can tell you.
Oh man, I can only imagine. I can only imagine. I know that they're not allowing cameras up in there. That's for sure. And if they, that's why you never see nothing about it, right?
That's it, man. That's it.
That's what's up, man. So yeah, hopefully we can do some Vegas stuff like that, because whatever happens there stays there. So we're gonna see what parties we get popping in Vegas for the World CryptoCon. That's another shill right there. But but anyway, so let's get into the next topic. So we got Clay. He wants to talk about one of our favorite topics in crypto, which is alts and alt season and all of that stuff. And Clay, what is your current outlook on this? And I know alts have been bumping this week ever since we got some positive movement and some strong support for Bitcoin, and I've seen a lot of alts popping out. For one of them, just to highlight today, I saw Doge jump off today, 44+%, and I know that news came from Yahoo Finance listing a couple of crypto coins with Doge included. So what do you think right now, Clay?
I don't know. Like, I'm still kind of skeptical on some of the alts I'm jumping into. I'm just kind of playing short-term kind of plays, playing for those 100% moves and stuff. But I was interested on getting like your guys' views, if it's like a dead cat bounce, or if you think this is actually going to be a start of a bull run.
Yeah. I mean, do you have any charts or any kind of crazy thing that you're looking at, or smart thing? I've seen, shout out to who is that? Stacking Bits in our Dog Pound group. He's been bringing up a interesting chart up this last week about market cap, right? Total market cap of crypto, and how he's saying, and everybody has this magic number of 250 billion, right? And do you want to kind of elaborate on that 250 billion number? The significance of it, and what people have seen since it's been below or above it. Are you familiar with that?
Oh, I'm not really. No, I've just been.
I guess
I took the week off from trading, honestly, because I traded like shit last week. So I just stepped back and.
Yeah, I mean, is this something that you're paying attention to, Bitlord? Apparently, 250 billion market cap point is where basically people feel safe of entering in pretty safely on alts and other coins that's not named Bitcoin, of course, because they feel like the market structure is pretty strong support around or above that level. I don't know how. I haven't did any deep research into it, but I see a lot of people talking about it all the time. I don't know if it's just one of those popular things to talk about on Twitter,
just like
that you're.
Yeah, it sounds like the equivalent of eating Tide Pods, mate. I mean, someone comes up with some shit and then it just sticks.
Yeah, exactly. So, but all right. So, are you informed enough to know that does the overall total market cap of crypto? How much should we look into about that? I mean, of course, we know if it's if it's going up, then of course people put more money. The obvious thing is people are putting their money more money back into the market. But what can we? Are there any? Is that a type of indicator that we can look at to know when it's in quotation safe to start pouring money back into the market?
I mean, you could look at something like that, or you could just look at BTC as a sort of collective index. I mean, look, when Bitcoin breaks out of this this sort of 6 month bear market, it's going to be pretty obvious. We're going to see a hell of a lot of volume. We're going to see some absolute strong green candles. And, by the time that happens, man, I mean, the confidence is already back in the alts, and you can see that happening now. I mean, money's rushing back into a lot of these altcoins. And look, people are still being cautious right now, but there's a lot of volume. There's a lot of activity. There's a lot of new people coming into this right now. So everybody's sitting there wondering, okay, how low can this go? Can I get it lower? I'd love to pick some, I'd love to pick some of my alts up at X or whatever the case. But, the market's only going to give you, you're only going to get what the market's going to give you. And it doesn't matter where you want to buy it or sell it. The market's got a different idea. And I honestly feel like we've gone through enough blood now. I feel like, we've possibly seen that that period where, these things have bottomed out and they're starting to push across now. And mate, I think we're in for some good times. It certainly looks like that. And I feel like this month, closing strong, I feel like this next 4 weeks is just going to be green candles, man. That's what I'm looking at.
Yeah. I mean, I've definitely, based on what I know and what I've seen in the movement of the market the past couple of days, I've seen some positive things as well. Although I'm still trading with caution. I do have a question for you guys. So, which one do you think? Which one do you think is more important? BTC dominance or total crypto market cap, as far as indicators on where the market could be potentially going?
I feel like I don't pay too much attention to what's going on there. I mean, every time I sort of see something like that, it's because someone's posted it on Twitter or something like, and I'm not studying it too much, but I keep more of an eye on what Bitcoin's up to. It seems like it's the best index for what's happening in the entire space, because I feel like that dominance has been entirely inflated by a lot of these ICO shitcoins where someone prints 100 million units. They're holding like 95 million and 5% on the market and stuff like that. I mean, it really throws those figures off. So I've got a bunch of alts that I pay attention to. And that's my little index. It's my little world, and I like it. So that's
and that's why I asked that question, because I mean, honestly, I don't look at either one of those things either. Of course, I'll take a glance at it, and once somebody brings it up every now and then, and I'll be like, okay, that's cool. But I don't really pay too much attention to it. I do the same as you. I mean, if Bitcoin is looking good, then I'm thinking that everything else is should occasionally follow, right? Or should follow. So that movement is pretty much what I'm looking at. Does anybody have something different, or any? Does anybody have some things that they look at that can help?
Like everyone talks about, like sometimes you see like the Ethereum charts pop up, like alt won't bounce until we see Ethereum fucking up at you know, above 300 or whatever. But look at the Ethereum chart and it's still like going down, but alts are bouncing. So I think everyone has their own little like variances in what makes them think the market's going to bounce or turn around or whatnot. But you only ever see them on Twitter.
But that's the thing, man. I mean, that's because they've been holding Ethereum, all the way down, and that's their world. Alt season starts when their Ethereum goes up, but it's like, fuck, man, have a look. Like, shit is pumping left, right, and center across the board. And to them, I mean, there's still people denying on Twitter saying that it's not alt season. I'm like, fuck me, have a look at CoinMarketCap, have a look at the markets. Like, guys, there are things like up 30, 40, 50% today. The volume is coming in. No one gives a shit about Ethereum right now. Everything else is just popping so hard. Yeah,
the volume, like just looking at a few charts this morning, all the volume coming in looks very good. Especially like, we've just had that capitulation. Like we've been smashed for the past like couple of months.
Look at Doge.
Yeah.
35 sat to currently sitting at what? 61 sat.
Yeah, Doge. Yeah, Doge is moving.
Doge is moving. Moves, like, fuck me, right?
Yeah.
Oh man, I got some nice Doge bagged up like across the upper 30s, and I was nearly going to sell that like last night for like 54, 55 satoshis because I thought, and I said I was talking to a friend as well. I said, man, like, because he got into it as well, and then I said, look, dude, like, I know we could probably try to sell some here and pick it up cheaper as some people are taking profit. But one thing is I know is that if Doge is moving, it's just going to fucking blast right on through, man. And there's a good chance that after we sell, it's just, it's going to keep going. We're going to be staring at it and watching it go all the way up. So I'd be more comfortable just sit out and just hold this thing for, maybe another week or two. Just, forget what you think about pumps and just hold on to this Doge. And then we're still doing that. And I tell you what, like, Doge pumps are so much fun. They're so much fun. I'm just obviously, man.
How long have you been in crypto for then, Bitlord, if you don't mind me asking?
Since like 2012.
So how many of like these pumps and like fucking dumps have you seen then?
Mate, like, a lot. I mean, there's been some really good times. There's been some some rough times as well. But looking back, I mean, it actually happens so quickly, and it does in crypto. I mean, these markets go fucking ballistic, and then the worst we've had has been like 2 years of sort of like downwards activity. But in reality, that's still a short time, like compared to some of these stocks. But
definitely.
Yeah. Speaking of that, so I was reading something the other day about cycles and everything, and how money moves from Bitcoin to altcoins and all this stuff. And I was reading something about, it was something interesting about the flow of the money in cycles. So they said once Bitcoin goes on a run and it tops out a little bit and it starts to retrace, then the money starts flowing into large cap alts, and then it starts flowing into the mid cap and then the smaller cap. So what are some out of the let's try to narrow it down, out of the like top 50 coins, maybe even top 25 large cap coins, which ones have been on y'all's target list for like the next possible upcoming bull run and alt season, as a lot of people like to call it? Which ones are you guys interested in?
Personally, anything that's going to move. I mean, like I was trying to say,
that's a very legit answer.
Right? So, like, just to go back a little bit, what we're talking about. So, I mean, everyone has their indicators that they're looking for. Particular coins that start to run. The overall market cap, so on and so forth. For me, I don't really give two shits. I wait for the market to turn around. Once it's turned around, I don't have to catch that bottom. That doesn't bother me. But once shit starts moving, it's literally just finding it before it moves, getting onto it, 2-3 days a week, whatever it takes. It pumps, you take your profits, you move to the next. And you keep doing that as long as it takes. And then once the market starts to come back down, you take your profits back to fiat, you sit back, you relax, and then you wait for the next one to start.
Next one. Yeah, and I think that was important what you just said about how you don't spend too much time or you don't make it a high priority to always catch the bottom, because you'll see a lot of people on crypto Twitter and all around saying like, oh, I caught this at the nice bounce at the bottom, and I'm a hold until this time then, and then sometimes you see them end up getting burned. And but I like to, like you said, I like to wait for a little bit more confirmation, because the goal is not to lose, right?
That's it. But, if you pick Bitcoin up at, let's say, 7,000 versus picking it up at 10,000, and you sell it at 20,000, who gives a shit?
Exactly.
Whether you got it at 7 or 10, if you sell it at 20, nobody cares. And that's the same with alts, right? Like even Doge, for example, if you picked it up at 30, brilliant. But you can still pick it up at 50. And I'm not saying this is just an example, but you could still pick it up at 50 and sell it at 110 and make nice profit. So I just wait for the markets to turn around, for things to be confirmed, and then I start playing around a bit more.
Bitlord, what is your like short-term strategy right now? Like how are you working this somewhat of a suspicious, like kind of paranoid, like it's because everybody wants to go bullish right now, but it's in the back of everybody's head that like, man, I don't want to step out the door just yet, like
Yeah, I see what you mean, man. But and I mean, he said it perfectly. If you're trying to pick the bottom, look, more than often than not, it keeps going down, and you're really hurting yourself. So waiting for a reversal is like the smartest thing to do. And in regards to what's happening now, I mean, man, I am bullish. I'm in my moon suit. I'm kicking back now, and I've got a couple coins. I'm just letting them do their thing. I'm not too stressed, because some of these things I want to hold for much longer than towards the end of the year. Some of these things I want to be able to hold on for another 2, 3, 5 years. And look, if they do, if they're still around at that time and crypto's a thing, I reckon they're going to do pretty well. So I'm trying not to trade too much now. I've just got a nice little bunch that I've got sitting there. And I'm just trying to work on this project right now, and I feel like that's the best thing, because it keeps me distracted. I'm not sitting there like frothing about what the market's doing. I'm not stressed about my coins or anything. I've got this thing to distract me, but at the same time, I'm excited. I'm so excited, and I feel like a lot of people are. Look, we want to see this. We want to see this run kick on. We want to get the pumps that we're used to. The pumps that we know, and I feel like. This feels like the very sort of start of that. And if I'm wrong, I feel like we're going to find out this month, and it's going to be nasty. But
I think if it happens again this month, then what kind of hell of a deja vu that would be, right, from last year?
Yeah. Look, it's going to break a lot of hearts. A lot of people will be shattered, because now this is a bit of hopium right now. It's like we're getting some hope. We're getting a feel of what it's like again. And if the market turns around now, it's going to crush a lot of people, because when you got that last hope and you're clinging onto that, and then someone pulls a rug out from under you, it's like then we're going to see a lot of people say, "Fuck this shit, it's a scam."
Yeah, and that may be the point right there.
That's the point. I mean, that's it. That's when you want to go all in, man.
Yeah, that may be the point. So yeah, most definitely, I like that. So is there so right now, like I said, we usually have Maine that comes on. He does a little Bitcoin outlook. Did you want to show some charts real quick, or show a chart and do a little quick rundown of what you can expect, or what you're looking at over the next day or two, or the next week or something like that? Or
okay, I can't share screen share, but what I can do is I can just like talk you through what I'm looking at now. So what I like to do is look, if I'm looking for like a longer term perspective, and I even do this like if I'm trading on like 15 5-minute candles, I'll start on a high time frame and then work my way down. So right now I'm looking at the monthly on Bitstamp. I've only got a Bollinger Band up on that, like no other indicators, nothing. And I can see that, we've got what looks like a tweezer top, from 20K. It's come down. It's bounced off the middle of the Bollinger on like 5800. It's wicked up just in time to close that monthly with a nice long candle. And this new one has opened fresh, and it's just sitting there like flat, like bam, flat like that right now. And I feel like, look, if this thing starts moving, I mean, if we can close, or if we start getting around 7-7, I feel like if we pop past 7-7 and put ourselves into the 8, that I feel like we're going to spend the rest of the months chopping around between 8 and 9.5, 9.6 to set up the next one that will, push us into the 11, 12K. That's one real bullish scenario I'm looking at right now. But this candle was closed. Yeah, it just feels like it's closed a little too low to be entirely confident, because it's got a lot of work to push through this horizontal resistance. On the other hand, mate, I'm looking at at a bearish scenario, and if we start weakening, if we get going under 6.3, this thing could be a nice long nasty streak, like down into the 5.7, and possibly like wick down to the lower 5s. That's gonna be very nice. And I feel like if we close around there, shit, mate, the next monthly is really poised to like rip into the 4s and 3s. So I tell you what, like you really want to close this thing green. Like a real bullish scenario is closing over 7.7. Strap in and get the fuck ready is closing above 8K, like potentially an 8.2. So it really feels like now is this candle is the monthly decider between what's going to happen for the rest of the year, possibly even to early 2019.
Okay, cool. So it's all about these levels, man. And that was the thing, last year, whenever we started running like this, we didn't really have, once we broke the 10K, we went into price discovery mode, right? And nobody really knew when the run was going to stop. And I think that's what mostly fueled the run, right? Besides other factors of, the media and all of that stuff. But now we know what a top is, and we know what the all-time high is, and it's going to be, but I honestly like this slow, steady upward movement, even though it's, not as going as crazy as some people would like it to go. But I think this is healthy.
It's a lot better because you look at any of the moves on the daily of the Bitcoin charts. If we have those sudden pushes up, in about 10 days time or 15 days time, they come crashing back down just as quick. Like they're not building any levels when they go up. It's just like a direct streak up and then come crashing straight back down.
Yeah, we gotta fill those gaps for sure.
A slow and steady controlled pump. That's what we
want.
Yeah, most slow and steady control pump. Yeah, take that how you want it. Some of you can apply that to other parts in life, but it's always good. take notes and apply it to wherever you want to. But it works in the crypto market too as well. So on to the next one. So let's talk about a little bit something. It's crypto related, but I don't know if. I know we talk about sports all the time in the dog pound. Clay, he has some favorite NBA teams that I'm not too fond of, but I think I'm the only gung ho NFL football person in the chat, and most of us are like NBA and other and European football. But I wanted to talk about we got. The main reason why I'm thinking about this is because NFL season is about to start this Thursday, and I'm so fucking turned up for that shit. I'm telling you, that's all that comes. Nothing is on my TV but football for 16 weeks, and I'm just real into it with traditional, fantasy football and betting and all that stuff. What I would like to know, and I'm pretty sure what some other people would like to know as well, are you guys, or do you guys know of any, or do you guys partake in any online platforms that like for fantasy or for just head-to-head battles or just straight up spreads, but using crypto or Bitcoin or whatever as a collateral? I know we have a few. I've seen people mention some. I know that they have a bunch more starting up, but is that something that you guys are into?
I haven't done it yet. No, I like to have a punt every now and then, like every week, but I haven't really had any that have jumped out and tickled my fancy, I guess.
I've been looking into it. I've seen like Bovada, and they have it in there too as well, where you can do a bunch of stuff like that. I was just curious to see if some of you people actually tried it, because I mean, I mean, it seems like it seems like a good idea. It's just that, I haven't took the time. I'm not gonna lie. Some of these sites look shady as shit. That's why I'm scared to do it, and that's honestly why I haven't stepped into it. But it's just something I see people talking about and on crypto Twitter lately. I mean, if you guys don't participate in any of that, what's some sports? What's interesting you guys in sports right now? Everybody, all of these crypto shows, they talk about, just straight up trading. Let's talk about some fun shit real quick, even though that is fun. But let's talk some shit real quick.
Hey, man, this is this is the funnest shit ever.
Yeah.
I tell you what, man. Like, a lot of those sites do look dodgy, and honestly, some of them are. But if you look for some of the older established ones that have been around for years, they've got solid user bases. They've got like a lot of people that have like known and trusted them for years. I mean, one that I like to use, and I'd love to shill a ref link, but you need to check out Nitrogen Sports. I mean, you can bet on all sorts of sports on that thing. These guys have been around for ages. They're based out in the EU. Amazing platform. You can fund it, with Bitcoin, betting Bitcoin. You can even like play poker, dice. It's a great thing, and I think they might even have a fantasy league or something setting up. I haven't been on there for a while, but I've had a lot of fun on there, and I like staying in my little Bitcoin world. I don't want to fuck around with having to send like actual money to a place. I mean, if I can just click on a hot wallet, and just send some coins over, that's awesome. So, man, you got to check out Nitrogen Sport. They're actually awesome.
Sports. I actually just wrote that down because I'm actually going to check that out. Which brings another idea to me. Since we're talking about crypto and gambling, that brings to my attention. Whatever happened to what are some advances? And maybe you guys know, and maybe you guys are keeping more track of it than I am. Whatever happened to Edge and what's the other one? Funfair. Like what? Or I think that's the two popular crypto gambling ones that they were making just straight up I know Edgeless was one. Are they do you guys know of any people, or have you ever used their platforms before?
Nah, man.
Nah.
I mean, I feel like all the old established ones that are known and trusted. I mean, look, I used to love dicing back in the day. And Just Dice was my go-to, Satoshi Dice. But now, things are a little bit different. But I never had any real desire to use one of these new things. I mean, I like whatever I've had going in the past.
Yeah, and I think we'll be able to partake in some of that real life in Vegas. Get excited for that, man. Can't wait to play some bets on that over there on some football teams and any other kind of sports. But yeah, that's just some things that I've been looking at, some random stuff. Crypto always has these solutions in different spaces, but I always wonder like who the fuck is using it, like besides just trading the coin. Well, speaking of that, is there any what coin off the top of you guys' head? Now I'm just freestyling right now. What coin off the top of you guys' head that you can think of has the most value other than just trading the coin? Which one is actually coming to life in the real world, as you may say? I know that you talked about how we were talking about payment platforms and crypto payment solutions. But honestly, and then maybe it's hip because I'm here in the US, I haven't actually seen anybody pull out one of those cards and use it and start talking about it. But maybe you guys have since you guys are outside. But what have some of you seen in the real world that you was like, oh shit, like this crypto shit is real? Like,
so I was mentioning before, I won't go into too much detail right now. There's more info to come, but I'm working with some guys at the moment where basically, long story short, a credit card, so to speak, where you can spend your crypto. So literally anywhere that accepts MasterCard or Visa, you can pull your card out, choose which cryptocurrency you want to spend, be it Bitcoin, Litecoin, Monero, whatever. Click the button, tap the card, and go on with your day. And for me, like, that's the biggest thing. Because until I can do that, I can't spend my crypto the way that I would spend, like, you know, go about my normal daily business, right? Like I get up, I go to the cafe, I get a coffee. I have to pay cash.
Yeah.
Like I have to pay cash, I have to use my credit card, right? So the day that I can just pull out my card and just tap and use Bitcoin, like that's when I'm gonna feel like, all right, you know, like this crypto shit is real.
Yeah, most def. Do you see? I know you're out there on the field with in the crypto scene and all that stuff. Bitlord, have you what have you seen in real life that you was like, oh shit, like it's this is actually being used like right in front of me, like this shit is real. It's not just virtual right now. Like, what have you seen?
I guess it was the first trip I went to Vegas, and I was in that the Legends room, that strip club, and
the Legend coin. Yeah.
I was tipping strippers with Bitcoin, buying bottles and stuff. That was like, you know, we've made it. You know?
so was the process pretty smooth? Like, was that a smooth process? Like,
look, this is when they were first starting, you know, getting set up, and it wasn't like the most perfect seamless process, but it's I know it's a lot better now, but you know, even just being able to just pay for something like that was really cool for me. I mean, you know, I like
it's just cool to say, like, bro, I just made it rain with Bitcoin, bro. You still using that dollar shit?
Oh no,
you still using that paper dollar shit, bro.
I still get a paper because, you know, you can't compare that feeling. You know, it has to rain, but you know, when I was getting like you know, bottles and things like that, or food delivered, you know, it was. You know, it's from the coins. And I don't like spending coins. I really don't like spending coins. Like you know, you won't catch me spending this shit. But the thing is, that was when Bitcoin was like at 20K, and you know, I was like, oh, you know, you can spend some, because you got so much fucking value out of it. And it was like, you know, I was fucked up in Vegas, and it felt good. So I was like, whatever, you know, we'll do this. And that to me was something really cool. And imagining being able to do that, like with normal money that you have just everywhere in the world. That would be pretty cool, you know. That would be sick. So I like what he's saying about these cards. Like, you know, I'm interested. Like, sign me up for this.
Exactly. I've been waiting for 10x, and I don't know if they have or not because I've kind of lost track since. I've been waiting for them to come to the U.S. I know we have BitPay. You know, that's a popular one that a lot of people use. But you know, I'm just waiting and for somebody to perfect the craft, basically. Because I know there's still a lot of things that that they're ironing out and everything like that. But it's coming, man. It's coming. And 2018 we made some good progress. I feel like 2017 was where all of these projects were just, you know, it was a bunch of visual concepts and just concepts of what they could do. And now 2018 is showing what some of them can do, and 2019 put it more full force into what they will do. So it's slowly coming up, and it's
2018. You will see.
I mean, it's 2019, yeah.
So yeah, 2018 you will see the card. So the product is there.
Okay.
Yes, the product's there. So this one's been done back to front. So this one's been done in the way where the product is built, it's working, and then the marketing will start. So this is not going to be it's actually not even going to be an ICO. So yeah, it's going to be quite interesting. But yeah, in 2018, World CryptoCon as well. I will buy you guys a beer using this card, paying with crypto.
Oh
yeah,
man, I'm excited, man. I'm not. I definitely can't. You know, I have a bad history of missing flights, but I think you made me just get to the airport an hour earlier for that. Yeah, I'm gonna get my beer now. Just playing. Yeah, man, it's gonna be some good times out there, man. That's just another drop right there. World CryptoCon, Halloween. You guys can make it. It seems like it's gonna be one big party. So I think that's about it today. I mean,
I think there's one more thing we've got to discuss.
Yeah, what's up? Let's talk about it.
Well, something major happened in the crypto world this week. An ass got leaked, and it turned the markets around.
Whoa, an ass got leaked. How did I not hear about this? Where is this at?
Dude, okay. So what happened, right? A long time ago, I think it was like last year now, there was this, this bit of a joke, some sort of trolling going on in crypto Twitter, and this is real shit, right? People talking about, people talking about eating ass, and some guys are saying, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" This,
bro. Can I stop you for that? Is crazy that you just mentioned this Me and two of my friends, I swear to you, just last weekend had a huge argument. And I hate for this show to start going that way, but we just had a huge argument about eating ass and getting your ass ate. And I was just like, bro, no, I'm good on that, bro. I'm good. But they started arguing about like, bro, no, you got to try it. So that's just weird that this is even coming up right now. But proceed, please, proceed.
All right. So we're talking about it, and then, you know, some guys saying that's so fucked up. Like, what's wrong with you? And then, you know, we're saying, look, you know, real men eat ass. That's what it's about. And then some guys couldn't believe it. They're just like, you know, this is outrageous. And then one guy in particular is like, really, really like, he couldn't believe it. He's like, what the fuck? You know, it shook his world. Like, he couldn't believe that people did that. And he said, look, that's so fucked up. You know, I've licked a pussy once, and that's as far as we'll ever go. And we thought this was hilarious. So then it became this thing. Like, someone said to him, said, look, you know, Romano, if you don't eat ass, we're not, you know, you're not going to get an alt season. That's what you need to do to bring about a pump. And, you know,
man.
Yeah, man. And then it became like this sort of joke. And then, you know, everyone was sort of, you know, giving him shit about it. And he's like, I'll never do anything like that. You know, it's just crazy. And then he went off to Thailand for like a trip, you know, with one of these other guys, BTC. This guy trades stacks. And then, you know, he was trying to get him to do it there. And he said, you know, he'll think about doing it. He's going to go meet this girl tonight. And then the market rallied. Everything went crazy. And we're like, holy shit, it's real. Like, if he does, it will. And then he backed out, and the market dumped. So we're like, fuck. And everyone said, dude, do you want this old season or not? If you want this old season, you're going to eat some ass. You're going to lick that shit and bring about the next old season. And it became this massive thing that everybody's saying, you know, you've got to do it. You've got to do it. Long story short, fast forward. Man, he started talking to this porn star, Brandon Sparks. And then he, like, yeah, man. And then he, like, so he's talking to porn star, Brandon Sparks. And then he booked a flight from Europe somewhere to go out to Vegas to meet Brenner. And you know, and go ahead and do this to bring upon the next alt season. So the day he touched down in Vegas, the markets rallied. Everything went fucking nuts, like crazy. What? And then, like, we couldn't believe it. Oh yeah, man, this is real. This is real shit, and you can't make it up, right? So then he's gone out and he's like, look, I'm gonna do it. Market kept going, and then like this other porn star posted a photo of his face in Brandon Sparks' ass like that, eating it, and bam, like the prophecy.
What? Man, yes. So that's what I've been missing on crypto Twitter lately, boy.
Yeah, dude.
That is wild. I mean, you know what? Somebody got to be the sacrifice, right? So if we got to put my man Romano's what's his guy's name?
Romano. He's Bitcoin debt.
Okay. If we got to put my man Romano on the line, hey man, hey, thank you for taking that hit. Thank you for willing to get down and dirty with it for us to get these gains, man. Whatever we got to do to get these gains, and that's what the crypto fam is all about. Eat the ass if you had to. I guess, man. So I guess, so look, I think that's a good one to end it on, right? So there you go, guys. We got Bitlord, we got the host blockchain Dame. We got Clay, we got Satoshi Wolf, and apparently we got a lot of ass eating too going on. And but hey, if it's making the markets jump, then I'm all about it. I'll just be a spectator. And so you know what? It's the weekend. Everybody go out, set your stop losses, try not to get wrecked. And I just want to thank you again for joining us here on the Dog Pound, off the chain. Bitlord. What are some upcoming events that you got coming up that you may want to talk about, that or just something that you want to share right quick before we leave?
I want to see you guys in Vegas. You know, I want to get out to this CryptoCon. You know, meet some really cool people, have some great times, and do Vegas. You know, that's what. Man, it's a month. It's a month and about 2 months away. 2 months away. So I know it's on Halloween weekend. Are people doing Halloween shit? Or are people doing costumes and shit?
Partying there for sure.
Hell yeah. No, I know. Oh, I know it's gonna be crazy, but I'm just curious to see what type of costumes people pull up, because I think the first night of the event is on Halloween. So I might have a little trick up my sleeve, man. We might come up in something surprising. So it's gonna be fun. It's not gonna involve no eating ass and all that though. So we will. Romano. Is Romano pulling up? Matter of fact, Romano, we got to get you. We got to get you on one of these episodes, man. We got to talk. We got to talk about this and talk about how that went down. I think that'll get a lot of listens on that one, even more than this Bitlord one. But yeah, like I said, thank you once again for coming on the show, Bitlord. We'll see you at World CryptoCon. This has been episode 4 of the Dog Pound Presents Off the Chain. Once again, I'm Blockchain Dame. Enjoy your weekend. We will see you
fellas
tomorrow.
See you, lads.
Have a good one, boys.
Bye.